Alrighty, Doc here from North America, and we are back up and running. Hooray for us. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Dukascopy. There were some technical difficulties. And let's see. What is going on there? I guess that's it. Am I up or am I not up? Let's see. Doesn't look like I'm up. Now I'm really confused again. Let's try that again. Like that. Trading. There we go. And we are up and running, and this is good. All right. I was talking, wasn't sure if anything was going on at one point, so I was just talking anyway. So now I can see myself. I can see the chat line. We're happy. All right. Yes. What's going on basically is that I started off saying this is not. This is all because of quantitative easing, and that's not not the technical problems we had getting up on the system. The markets are controlled by the central banks by the hour nowadays, not by the quarters. It used to be every 3 months, maybe a little. If they needed to adjust something, they would adjust it. They would do it. You wouldn't know it until the last moment. Now they're in there buying and selling and pushing and doing this, that, and the other thing. This is all quantitative easing. This is the world of quantitative easing. And so what we've seen is the 10-year now, as we were talking about it yesterday, has jumped to 175, and the 30-year. I'm checking the 30-year now as we speak. The 30-year is, I think it's a 254. So we're seeing some real pressure going on inside this market here, and it's having an effect on the younger companies. So you're seeing it in the Nasdaq, and then the Dow Jones Industrial Average is barely down. It's just very mildly moving down. It's been plus all morning long. The older stocks don't go into the market. They don't have to go into the cash market and borrow money like they do in the in the modern companies like in Intel or Microsoft or Google and so forth. And so that's what the challenge is right now, is that we're seeing a lot of pressure. Let me give you the quote. I just loaded it up, and we can take a look at the bond also at the same time. Let's do that. And that's why we're seeing the dollar now, which is curious. The dollar is getting strength again. You can see there we have the Swiss franc up. No, that's the euro. Let's put the Swiss franc up there, right there. You can see it's moving. Went into a sell yesterday. It's moving right back up again. And let me see where the quotes are. So the 10-year now, like I said, I saw it yielding 174. It's moved down from 175, and the 30 years trading at 2495. It was at like 225 something. The Fed, I'm sure that the Federal Reserve will be coming in, trying to buy up some bonds, make them look a little bit more friendlier, that type of nature. Let's check this out here. There is the 30-year right there. You can see it's diving down. And these are big moves in these products. They're normally very staid, sideways. They try to. This action like this is definitely upsetting. If it wasn't for the fact that the Federal Reserve and the central banks across the planet are deeply involved now and have plenty of money to buy whatever they want because they just print it, we would be seeing a cataclysmic type of market right now. The stock markets would be crashing. And that's why you see. Let's go over to it. You can see here. This all bleeds into the forex market, and you can see right here. Let's refresh that. You see how it's moving down firmly here. A good move there today so far. Not as big as this one, but pretty close. I mean, there's some really good action. You can see how tight it had gotten. Now we're starting to make a nice dive. It's broken down. And same thing's going on the S&P 500. And also at the same time, I just want to remind you traders, the NASDAQ, which is very interest rate sensitive, has been in a weekly sell for 3 weeks. So, it goes down, moves up. The buy kind of protects you here and there. stops you from being short in this spot right there, and then basically gets into a buy, and now it's trying to move back down again. And then let's check out the S&P 500. You can see that it's flirting with the daily sell. It's playing with the weekly sell, both of them at the same time. Now, again, central banks are the buyer of last resort, and it is a freak out. And you're only hearing it, not only hearing it, but you hear it from Doc. I talk about this all the time, the mechanics of the market, the physical mechanics of the market. You're not going to see it on Bloomberg too much. They're going to be pretending that earnings and interest rates and profit taking, and they're going to say all kinds of wonderful things like that. Then they'll say maybe someone will get a little brave and they'll say the bond vigilantes, they'll call them vigilantes, the investors. And so that's what we're really seeing right now, is that money is moving out of the weaker interest-sensitive stocks and holding on to the older stocks like this one right here. You can see that. There's the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and that's live, and it was up, maybe 15, 20, even as much as 40 points. And now you can see here it closed yesterday at 32,904, and you can see it's trading right now at 32,901 offered. Twos are offered now. So basically it's unchanged. Threes are offered, twos are bid for. So the thing is unchanged, and here we're watching the NASDAQ 100, and we're seeing the S&P 500 getting smashed, like down, enormous amounts of points. And usually when you see the S&P down like this here, it's down, what is that? That's down 26 points. Normally you would see a Dow that's down 240, 250 points, something like that. In this case here, the Dow is unchanged. Doesn't have it's barely, has no effect on it, basically. And so that's where we are. All right, if you've got any questions, fire them out. You want to see any charts, let's do them. And let's get marching along. Remember, it's TGIF Thursday. So in other words, tomorrow's TGIF Friday. Hooray for us. All right, and let's go back to the currencies. But that's where we're at. The central banks are trying to firm up the marketplace or hold it in steady condition. All right, so there's the Swiss. You can see it's moving up. So the dollar is moving up in value. They're starting to buy the dollar again. And you can see here the euro is getting pressed down, and it went into the buy there yesterday. Now it's getting knocked down. But then again, it's in a weekly sell. So there was no way you would want to buy the buy because it's a daily buy. You want a weekly buy and a daily buy, both working together. Now, cable, very impressed. Cable, getting up into it yesterday. They had a little volatility point. And at the same time, it's holding on. And I guess I can actually erase that because it's not minus anymore. It's turned back. And we talked about this on Tuesday and Wednesday. Don't be surprised this thing finds a way to lift back up at by the end of the week. And sure enough, it is doing it. This particular pairs trade is a very firm pairs trade. It has no real interest to be sold off. Money is going into it more than is going out of it. And that's really what we've been seeing. And who was it? 44 was asking why I don't give bigger, wonderful projections of what to do and when to do it. I do. The charts give the projections. And in this case, I threw my 2 cents in on the trade and said, hey, don't be surprised this thing tries to turn around again. Because this thing has a lot of strength. A lot of strength. Especially when you can see how long it's been in a weekly buy since mid-October on a weekly basis. And you can see, let's scrunch it up here. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Where is that? Right there. You can see there. And let's move this over. There we go. Let's scrunch it up again. So there it is. It went into the weekly buy here. It's been consistent. Been lots of good buys, and they've usually made money. It's holding the 8.5 out of 10. We saw the GBP. What was it? GBP JPY, I think it was. It was fascinating. That one was holding like a 92 percentile or something like that. It was even better. Some of these exotic pairs do really well. So that is pretty much where we're at, and we are going to run a little bit later today because of our technical problems there at the opening point. All right, let's go over to the Turkish Lira. You see Turkish Lira is went into the sell there yesterday. You can see it on the fact check spreadsheet also at the same time. Kind of surprised it's acting that strong since let's just double check that. That's line 17. Is that line 17? No, it stayed in the sell. Okay, so yeah, it's in the sell. That's right. Yeah, there's the one. Let's highlight that on line 17. Right there, you can see the one, and you can see, we're in a weekly buy. So, it's a battle going on. It can't, it can't get, I mean, it's very close. You can see the weekly is very close. They may turn, if this stays down and even probably breaks like this low here, may push the weekly into the sell, and we'll see the product probably roll over for a while. Let's take a look at Canada. There it is right there. There's CAD. And you can see it's trying to lift up, but we're still in a daily sell. So that's going to put pressure on the oil market there. Let's go take a look at NASCAD now, the loonie pairs trade. And there's the loonie. And it's going down, so it's telling us that oil is weak. I did see oil weaker, like hours ago. I haven't looked at it. I have a screen around here with it on it, too. Yep, it's down. All right, let's go over and take a look at the energy market now that we've done those pair trades, and we can jump back and forth, traders. We do the we run all the way up until the Canadian and the NASCAD loonie pairs trade, then jump over to the energies, and then from the energies we go back, look at some of the currency pairs again, unless someone wants to see something, and then we halt whatever our rhythm is and do it, because that's what we want. We want spontaneity. We want to see creativity here. Ooh, there you go. Yeah, it's even playing with a daily sell. Let's give that a refresh. There it is right there. You see that? Yep. Pressure's on it. May contract, but again, we are in the weekly buy, so hard to take it too serious there. And this weekly buy, daily buy, I'm sorry. This daily buy is, we've rarely ever seen anything so bad go on like that, where it actually goes down in value, and we went into a daily buy. I can't tell you the last time we've seen anything like that, where it went on for more than like a day. Yeah, I mean, it can happen for a day, but never do we ever see it happen for 2 days. It's so rare. That's like, I guess it happens maybe, I don't know, let me think in my memory. It seems to happen about every 1 out of 500 days or something like that. 1 out of 100, maybe 1 out of every 300 days. Once a year that happens, and this seems to be the product that it's doing to. I think we saw it 6-7 months ago do that to the copper, remember? Before that fantastic explosion. It was getting really odd. And then copper was trading in the 280s and the 3s, and we were getting some really strange signals. I guess it happens every 150 to 200 days on a product. It's very rare to see. I don't think it's even that much when you smooth it out over a 10-year period. It's very rare for us to see this. This is something. Green dots. It's sliding down. And, you can see it tries to lift up each day and just closes at the highs of the day, but not doing very well. But today, it's trading at the low at the moment, and if it doesn't rally back up, more than likely we're going to get into a daily sell. Now, obviously, the weekly is holding on very firm here. Then over in the natural gas, I saw it. It's trying to perk its head up. I was like, what? Now it's backed off and it's falling again. So we can actually get rid of that. But it was actually lifting up this morning. And let's just give that a refresh too. And then the robo for the automobile right there. You can see the pressures on that. That went into a sell there yesterday. Still falling down today. Let's give it a refresh. That's interesting. All right, so that's our energies. Now what we do is we'll go back over to the currencies unless someone wants to see something. We'll check out ruble. See how the ruble's doing. You can see that lifting up. It closed in a buy yesterday, I believe. That's line 50. What is that? That's line 18. No, it still was in a sell because I think we had a red and green dot. But obviously it is in the buy very easily now. So you can be long it. No, you can't, obviously. Obviously, you cannot. I looked down when I said you can be long it and saw that the weekly, it was in the sell for the last 3 weeks. So, no, you have to wait. You want this thing to get into the buy. And it is above it at the moment. We can put a little circly thing there just to remind traders. There we are. And there we are. Is that close enough? Nope, that's not either. It's that one. There we are. As you can see, it's trying to get into that buy. Pushing hard. All right, ruble. And then we slide over to the yen. You can see the yen's trying to turn up after 1 day down. And you can see it's been in a weekly for 3, 6, 9, 11. This is the 11th week now on a weekly buy, and it doesn't look like it has any interest whatsoever to go into the sell. That little action into the daily sell there yesterday was relatively meaningless. Whew. All right, now we jump over to where do we go from here? I think now it's it's dealer's choice. Anybody wants to see anything? I'm going to take a look at the Mexican peso. I guess we saw it rolling over yesterday or the day before when we were looking at that. Interesting stuff here. Andy, you out there? We are up and live. I heard you called Robin. Little technical difficulties in Europe. In Europa. Let's see, what else is there going on here? You can see how the peso has been moving down since its daily sell, but the problem is that it's in a weekly buy. So I think we're going to probably see more strength unless they roll that over. And right now it's not rolling over too much at all. It's interesting to see the Mexican peso actually become a solid product here in North America. It's a really important factor. That's one way to get into the OECD, something like that. All right, now let's drift over to where are we drifting to? Let's see what else we do. We do the currency. So we did the yen. We've done Mexican peso. Let's drift over to the metals complex now. And we'll see what's going on with gold. Well, there's silver right off. Silver's flirting with a daily sell with no problem whatsoever now. And I know that everybody got excited yesterday. I heard some of the talking heads on the financial channels saying stuff like, "Wow, now you can buy the metals again." It's like, I don't know. I think I suggested no more than 2 days ago that we think it's going to be a second half of the year type of trade, the metals market. Right now, we think most of the metals is being consumed by the Bitcoin universe. I think all the easy, not the easy, but the speculators that normally would go in and out of silver and gold, I think they're over there in Bitcoin now. Let's see. There's gold. Same thing. Pressing down. Pressing down. You see that weakness in there. So we'll see how long that lasts. But I'm not convinced. With increased interest rates, not increased interest rates, it doesn't matter. Central banks are selling this stuff. They can afford to sell it. They can use it as a surrogate for currency. And so when you hear them come out with the Treasury report of, oh, there's no manipulators this week, they're manipulating it through the silver and the gold. Anything that's denominated in a dollar basis of that size obviously is going to be a great surrogate to be a currency. And that's exactly what it is. So instead of them having to sell dollars, instead they sell gold. They sell silver. They may even sell platinum. That whole game goes on like that. All right, and then let's drift over to Copper there. Copper's doing the same thing. It's playing with the sell also, which is impressive. But it's in a weekly buy, whereas the other two, silver and gold, are in weekly sells. Which is really odd. Let's see, where's it at? Yep, 10 weeks in a sell in gold. Silver has been in a weekly sell for 10 weeks also. And copper was 6 weeks in a buy. And it doesn't look like it's pushing the weekly at all. And again, if you're going to, we've mentioned this, Robin was talking about it. I think we even wrote something about it. If you're going to, I think we did that like 3 or 4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago. If you're going to go in an electric universe, in a sense, in other words, we're going to be very electric inclined with automobiles. Matter of fact, I saw today BMW said that they reached a really high mark in selling electric vehicles. If you're going to see that going on, then you have to assume automatically, well, they need copper. You can't just, you can't just say you want to do electrical things and then not have the wherewithal. In other words, have the equipment to do it. Gotta you can't be all hat and no cattle. It means you got to be all cattle and a hat and a car with the horns on the front of it. That's exactly what's going on there. All right. I'm a little surprised that the chat line is quiet. Is anybody out there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And so I'm just waiting for somebody to respond. I can hear me. That's the amazing thing. So I'm just wondering. I'm tuning in on another computer as we speak. I want to see if I can just type something in from the Chicago quant side of it, just to see if it's showing up on my machine here or if I'm missing stuff. Let's see, Dukascopy Community, maybe not. Let's see, history. There we are. And webinars. There we go. Let me just tune in. I'll jump to 13.
Stop buffering issues anywhere, anytime, instantly.
And so, skip, and we're in. I hear. Oh, okay. Robin just threw a yes up there. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure. I felt alone. George, thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. I felt alone out here. It was bad enough that I talked for like 5 minutes and was communicating with Dukascopy in Europe on Skype to begin with and talking like as if you guys could hear me and wasn't sure. But now that I am up live, no one's saying anything in the chat line, and I'm like, wow, I feel like the man out in the lifeboat there out in the middle of the ocean. Yes, indeed. All right, now that makes me feel better. I am better. It is I, the better trader. All right. Now, where'd we leave off? Okay, there's copper. Let's see what the platinum spread is doing. We saw a jump yesterday because of the interest rate thing. Let's see what it's doing today. So there's platinum. Platinum is moving down. And gold is trading at, where's gold trading? 1720 basically. And this is trading at 1210. So the spread's at 509. Now, Robin and I were talking about the spread last night. It was at 530. As far as we're concerned, this is the Janet Yellen spread. With her in power, that's why when it was up over $1,000, I said you got to short this spread. 44, are you listening? See, I will say that once in a blue moon when it's so obvious. In other words, if I actually put a rubber stamp on something, and I say do it, there's a good chance something really is interesting is going to happen. Because I won't do it unless I see all the signs, all the information that's saying, hey, watch out below or watch out above. In this case here, we just assumed, Mrs. Yellen, she kept that spread down dramatically, and she's now the Secretary of Treasury. And you got to figure, oh yeah, baby, she's going to figure a way to do it again, and that's what she's doing now. She has taken this product down over $500 in less than 6 weeks. And we even published an article about it, Robin and I. So that's where my head is at right now. Can you hear me now? All right, that's a rubber stamp 44. All right, now let's jump over to, let's see, we've done the metals. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's an entertaining thing, of course. I think it went back into a buy yesterday. I mean, it's probably getting banged around like everything else. It does show its own characteristics. Let's see, yeah, it was in a buy yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah, there it is. And allegedly we went into a sell, but obviously not now. Let me just give this a refresh. There we are. So it's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're 5 up now. It's just like the stock indices, which is kind of surprising. And the Bitcoin is... Can I do it? No. Let's backspace one of those. There we are. And so Bitcoin is also, it's usually marching in its own direction. Not as more of late. Let's put it that way. More of late, over the last 3 years, you can see it's slowly breaking away from the general market. And in this case here, it's looking very firm. And like I said, I really do believe that the speculators, cattle. Yeah, let's jump into cattle. I believe the speculators are moved away from the metals complex and are in the Bitcoin complex, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a lot of action for a few more months in the metals market, because if they can't hold it up there today with interest rates exploding and the bond vigilantes allegedly being vigilantes, which I don't believe they are to begin with, I think that is a real clear sign that there is no real, extra buying going on in the metals market. Let's see, right there. There's cattle, right there. There's the April cattle. You can see it's flirting with the daily buy today. Let's give it a refresh. This thing might be going live on us soon. Let's see, it's 9:22 Eastern Standard Time. I think this goes live at 9:30. In 8 minutes, we're going to see the cattle and the hogs and everything else moving along live, which will be nice. So you can see here it's popped up into a daily buy there yesterday. You can see we'll go through the whole complex. And then here is the June cattle right there. And you can see that's in a buy. That's not even running away from it. It's just a delivery thing going on in April at the moment. I guess some people are long so much that they need to sell a little of it. And so today it's joining in with the rest of the gang. June cattle is looking very firm in here, trading at the 122, where, as you can see, the April cattle is trading at 119.5. So that's 2.5 cents or I guess that's dollars, isn't it? $2.5 higher. Interesting. And then we can take a look at February. Oh, let's look at December. I haven't looked at December in a while. There is December cattle. Look at that, flying along at all-time, not all-time highs, but yearly highs in here. Heading, it's up to 127.30. That's still closed. It's not trading live yet. And then you can see on the next, like 3 months out from there, we're looking at, let's see, where's it at? Right there. There's the February. And there is the February. Hello, February. Come on, February. You can do this. There you are. And so that's doing fine. That's trading at 129.51. 7 cents over the June contract. Almost 10 cents over the April contract. So they think the prices are going to be higher. Contango's with a premium. And then let's take a look at one last one, and that is, see now, how do we get there? Window. There we are. And then this one here is the April. There's April. That's trading at 130 and change. So there's a lot of action going on in there. They're really holding it up. I think Robin said we're looking at doing the cattle conversation today on the write up. So, Robin, you want to chart on April, or do you want to look at I guess they're doing delivery, but what's fascinating is it's trying to get into the daily buy to rejoin after being in a sell from here. And the weekly is actually trying to turn up at the same time. It's like, woo, pretty cool. It's really looking in a positive way. Very cool. All right, there's the cattle. I mean, it looks like the front month that's been sold is all of a sudden they might be trying to buy it. If we're going to see this thing go into a weekly buy, you have to be convinced that there's some backup, there's some convincing reason why they're buying it up. All right. What other grain should we look at? Oh, Robin was saying to me today, he heard that at the elevators, they're controlling the majority of the soybeans that are stored right now. So they feel like they've got the market cornered. And it wouldn't surprise me if beans stay up. I mean, if they can keep on paying like 14, 13, 15 in that area, that's pretty good. That is very good. All right. Let's take a look at the back month in November. And you can see that also that the beans that are up there from May looking extremely firm. And that's the 141s. Now, look at the discount that's going on in the new cropped. Almost 20-cent discount. 12.25 versus the 14. Where's it at? In the right. We'll find it in a second. Right top. That's right. There are. 141. Wow. Obviously, they are desperate to own that stuff. Someone's trying to own it, and so they're not. They know not to hold the price of the back month. They know better of all of that. Any result, they do. All right, let's check out the wheat. And again, traders. Oh, what we got here? We got Joe. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Morning to you, too. We were having a little technical difficulties for the first 15 minutes. And there's the Wheaties. And it's flirting with a sell right there. You can see we're in a weekly sell, too, so there's not much of a reason to believe that there was any strong buy going on, like compared to corn, where it's flirting with the weekly buy. But those back months, like the December there. Nope, that's not it. Right there, the December. It's in a plus, still in a buy. It's been in a buy. Yeah, there we are. And you can see that when you scrunch it up. All right. And you can see there, that's the December contract looking relatively firm, but cheaper. Again, the new crop. Did we answer everything you wanted there, Robin? I know that's going to be the write-up today, so that's pretty cool. All right. Where do we go from here? I'm looking forward to seeing what the meats open up in like a minute. That'll be kind of fun. Sometimes I don't really pay attention to them. And next thing you know is the trading day gets going. I can see all these others, but they don't have 24 hour. They don't do that like they do with the other products. Good. It's interesting. The back months are higher, and in the soybeans, the back months are lower. So you got a contango going on there. Let's take a look at cattle. There goes cattle, and you heard the bell there. Cattle is unchanged, basically, a little bit higher. Interesting. All right, now let's jump over to. Oh, where is it at? Let's look at meal. Meal's been interesting. It did get into the buy. Robin wrote something on Tuesday about this. You can see we had 2 volatility days. Tried to get into the sell, failed, and looks like that was yesterday's settlement. So that whole distance, we've been in a weekly sell, daily sell. I'm sorry, and the weekly sell, you can see has vacillated here or there a little bit. Just right here, I guess. It went short here, and then it was short to there, and it pushed you into a buy and then pushed you right in the sell again. That's good. All right. Let's see what KC wheat looks like. And they're moving that down too. Let's give it a refresh. All right. There's the red wheat. You see they're putting pressure on that. Let's refresh that a little bit. And what could be fun? Let's tune into the stock market a little bit and see how the action's going. You see, this is the Nasdaq 100 on a 169 tick, and then this is I treat this as like the daily, and this is like the weekly. Same thing with the S&P 500. This is our weekly on the top in a sense, and this is the daily. But they don't have it really set up right now for that. But that's how it plays, that's for sure. Interesting. You can see here, I changed the colors on the lines this morning. I thought, both the NQs and then both the ESs. This is the ES over here. This is the S&P 500. And that's a nice bottom they did right at the bell. This is where the bell was, right here. They started buying it. We'll see if it rolls over again. Yesterday was a lot more volatile than it is today. Yep, you can see that action. Anybody care to see anything? If not, I'll drift over to something else. I guess we could take a look at the Russell 2000. That's been kind of locked in with it's locked into the Dow. In many ways, the Russell has been very firm, and we've been seeing some selling in the last day or two, or like last 3 days, I guess you could say. Let's go over to that. Window right there, and let's see, where is it at? Right there. And you can see they've been selling that down a little bit, and it's in a daily sell for a couple days. It's trying to lift up in here, but it is lower today, whereas the Dow is not. And you can see that the weekly was flirting with a weekly sell, and now it's popped back up, but we got the green line underneath, so it's kind of a little mixed. Now let's go back to the Dow. You can see the Dow's up. It settled there yesterday at 04, is it? Yeah, 904, and now it's trading at it's trading at 910 with a high of 33.57. So it went through the 33,000 mark in the futures side. I am time delayed. Hey Andy, how you doing? Oh, okay. Morning to you. Morning to you too. So we had technical difficulties in Europe this morning, but they straightened it out. So we'll run for another 10 minutes, and then we'll call it quits. So this way, and we can actually see grain meats this morning, which is nice because they open up with the New York time, which is really neat. Let me just close this. And this is we usually show the intraday action of we can show you that of like a lot of products, but there's the stock market. You can see this. This is the Nasdaq 100 or the QQQ. You can see we've gone minus here. Let's widen this so you can see it really well. And it breaks down. Same thing here. This is 169 ticks. This is 693 ticks. So we treat this like the weekly, treat this like the daily. When they're united together, you get short. And you can see this is the S&P 500 over here. This is a 2,699 contract tick thing going on. And let's widen that. Right there. And then you can see this is the shorter term one. This is the 693. It just the S&Ps just trade enormous amounts of volume, so we need them bigger ticks. Now look at that spike up on the daily. I just look at the top chart there. I like just using the indicator like that. There we are. And so you can see here it just was a quick little spike. Let's widen that out more. Right there like that. And it was short-lived. And it just shows you the speed things are going on. Now in this case here, it tried to turn up. And it did. It turned up, but it's not something I would trade because this is in a sell still. Are you able to see that now, Andy? It's kind of neat. I'm going to go see what the hogs are doing. Hogs are backing off a little bit this morning. Yeah, there we are. But nothing major, just a little. I mean, it's all daily buy, weekly buy, so it's fine. And let's see what cattle's doing. There you go, Robin. Look at that. They're pushing the cattle, the front month cattle up. Look at that. So that buy yesterday is doing fine today. And Andy, when you say you're on a time delay, you mean you're a little behind us. All right. So, anybody want to see anything in particular? If not, we're going to go back to the stock market and see what that's doing. Oh, well, we could check out the currencies too if you want to see something going on in the currencies. Let's see. Cancel that. And just go over to there again. You can see, okay, now the longer term one has turned up, so you can buy this. That's cool. See, it's going up in value. That's the way it works around here. Moo, I agree, Robin. How about that? It's nice to be able to see those things live. Not 8:30 Eastern Chicago time, 9:30 here. So we never are able to send out something with, a morning, how it's starting off in the morning. Speaking of which, Andy, let's check out this. They had some really odd quotes in that ARKK. Let's see if we can open that up. Someone had taken the offer out, and it was like $5 wide in the pre-market. And I was like, what the heck is that? And where's it at? Let's see. Right there. That's better now. Now, look at it. It's starting to roll over. That's the way it should be doing. It's in a weekly sell. I don't have a lot of confidence in this product at all. I know that it's trying to go up, but we're in a weekly sell. So, Andy, if you're playing with this thing, be careful. Because it doesn't really have any until this weekly gets into a weekly buy. It's going to be very hard to take any longs on this thing. I mean, I guess you could short play of it. Take some risk and try to, you could buy some calls or something like that, and then try to get them out, get rid of them right off the opening the next day. Now here today, you can see the opening was it was crazy. It was like, where's it at now? It's trading at 124.02. It settled yesterday at 127 and change. So it was acting extremely weird. And so, same thing was going on with this one too. the RSP. RSP was doing the same thing. It's now rolling over. It was trying to lift up. I was like, what? What do you mean lift up? This had been quoted. Someone traded it like 144 or something like that. It was the oddest thing. Oh, hey, Joe. On Forex, the daily chart, when does the candle end for that day? 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, 5 o'clock on the cash. And it does the same thing on all the futures contracts, too. And on the stocks, it's 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, all Eastern Standard. So 5 o'clock Eastern Standard on Forex and all the commodities and everything. And 4 o'clock Eastern Standard or 4:02, either way, they do a rotation. They do some type of closing rotation, I think, still at the New York, and or the electronic New York, or whatever they call it nowadays, or the ICE New York. And so basically your 4 o'clock close on the stocks. Let's see. Joe says, but I see that the candle's still moving on the same day and the candle is not complete. Same day. In what product? Well, they're moving it around. They put quotes in there that, at the end of the day, they don't do a settlement. The futures, not the currencies. That's why we usually don't have any problem with cash currencies. We rarely ever have a problem with a cash currency. But on the daily chart of the futures, right? Yeah. So they do a closing rotation of what the official close is, and it seems to change sometimes. And it seems to happen literally almost every day one product has that issue. And so they do a closing rotation like they do an opening rotation. Yeah, so let's see if we can do an example. I guess like right here. Dow's still holding up very firm. Future Forex. Yeah, they might do a closing rotation in the futures. In the futures Forex. All the stuff we do here, where's that at? Let's go like to this. All the cash Forex, where it's the spot. Here it comes now. The spot, they're very efficient. There is no rotation. Where it stops, it stops. It's like, it's like one of those wheels at a carnival. Where it stops, and it doesn't change. That number is it. But when it comes to the futures, they actually do a closing rotation, and sometimes they don't update it for a while. West Texas is a good example. They do a closing rotation on that also. And it could be 15, 20 cents. And you know how my system is. It is so delicate that 1 or 2 cents can be a major change. Here, let's go over to the crude oil. There's crude right there. Yeah, you can see the May crude now is at the lows of the day. You can see it's breaking down here at the moment as we speak. You can see the weekly is still the weekly, though. It's still firm, just touching the time manifold. I don't have a lot of confidence of the selling, but we'll watch and see. It may be a cost to carry, because, we're looking at bonds that have jumped like, 15 bips. 15 bips is a lot in just a 24-hour to 48-hour period. That's a monster move, And, since the central banks are running everything, it's kind of like very weird that goes on there. So, all right, what else can we say about that? Any more technical stuff? This is good. I'm glad you're asking these questions. This way you can get a better feel for it all. Andy, you got any questions on a technical side? Just fire them out. Let's see. I'm going to go back to the stock market and see what they're doing. They're taking them down to the lows again? That's what they're doing. They're taking them down to I think that was the low right there. Let's do this one right here. No, the low is there. And let's just move over and see. Yeah, that was the low. That was the low. Okay, right there. So before the markets opened up about 15 minutes ago. They took them down to, that was the low of the day, the last 24 hours. And so it's just flirting. So see, when this goes into the sell, then I can take the sells over here. Now this is flirting with the buys, and I won't take those buys. I just won't be short. And then, now if this would close up into the buy, then I would start to think about playing that. Now, I just look to take this short again here, figuring that this is, because this is in a sell here, we'll do that. And so now they're playing with a Fibonacci line. I play with a lot of these Fibonacci lines. I like to match my numbers to them because my math is like an analog Fibonacci line. See? Very comfortable to be short. Cool, huh? Why do you think I'm so confident and can do these things live on... ooh, look at that. Coming right down to the major. Bounces right off of it. That's right. The major, and it bounces off of it. Let's see how it does now. Now, this is so deep in here, this is just going to be a simple bounce. And then they may challenge it again unless... This should start to turn up. There you go. That one's turning up. Oh, look at that. See that? And we get another one. You can see the ticks, the contract ticks right there. It's getting ready to change again. 90, 60, 40, 20. Bingo. Look at it. It's turning. Now get long. Woo! Go. Buy that weakness. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom. Oh, look at that. Come on. Climb. See, it needs to close there. That's a very good. That's closed there on a 1. But this is minus now, so you got to stay clear. I can be in and out of these things in a matter of like 4 seconds sometimes. 3 seconds. Daniel. Yo, Daniel! Get out. Palladium is parabolic? Let's go check that out. We haven't followed we haven't followed Palladium in a while. It's been interesting. Let's do this. We'll make a copy of April Platinum and put Palladium in there, the PA. So let's see, copy window, paste window, and then we'll get, just to double check to make sure it's at the bottom. That's it, right there. Activate that. Get rid of that. And then let's put Palladium in there and see what the Palladium's doing. Very low in inventory, aren't they, on the Palladium? They don't get a lot of production anywhere. Okay, we got to add that signal. Add futures PA. There it is. And there's March. There's June. Let's do the June one. There. Oh yeah, look at that. I love doing this because I like to look at a product that we haven't looked at and then doing it live in front of everybody, and we can just challenge the math. So you can see here, it's been in a daily buy since like over here somewhere. No, actually not there, not there, not there. Let's widen this too. So it wasn't until, you can see here, it flirted with it. It tried to get into the buy. Let's put a line in there and see what it does. Right there. See, it couldn't get in the buy there because it was red. And it couldn't get into the buy there because it was red. And then it could get into the buy there, but you couldn't buy it because it was minus here. Let's widen this out too. This is the weekly. There we are. So it had been in a weekly sell since back here. And so then it goes into the buy there, and it's been in a buy for the whole parabolic move up. Now let's move this over for the sell. Where's the sell? Not there. Not there. No. There was the sell there, I guess. Right there. There was the sell. It was there. And it didn't do you too much of a favor, but it did take it down. Did it get back into a buy here? Let's see. No. And no. And no. Okay. So it was in a sell from here, and it was a real sloppy move, but it went into the buy there in the end. I use this trading on the floors. My system, I use this on the floors with the options. Options trading, it's pretty hard to not make 200 or 300% on your money every year, with this system. Let's see. Natural gas. Oh, here we go. Daniel says. Let's see. Robin says PMN plane controlled by Russians. Yeah, that's it. Robin was telling me that. Controlled by the Russians. Natural gas clubbed like a baby seal. Oil also went down like a baby seal. Is that a Canadian thing or what? I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Palladium is controlled by the Russians. That's interesting. Yeah. So that's where it is at, traders. So I think this has been kind of cool. I guess what kind of title should we use today? Better late than never. Let's do that. Got to come up with a title for the webinar. I want to say better late than never. Let's see. Interest rates roll the markets. And that's the title. There we are. Wow, that's one heck of a parabolic move, and it did a good job on it. Let's go look back. It went into a weekly buy here before we run. Let's just take a look and see. Went into a weekly buy here. So they weren't really looking for a lot of action, I guess. And then it went into the weekly buy there, but it was in a daily sell, and then by the time it got into a buy here, okay, that was a winner chicken dinner. That's cool. And then it went back into the sell here. Yeah. Nope, over one. Right there. And then went into a buy, let's say right here. Is that it? Yeah. And that wasn't the winner chicken. That was a loss. And then it rolled over. That could have been real pain. So it ate a lot of the profit from here. Let's see. Where else? Yeah, that was a sell right there. I guess the red dot helped out a little bit, but not a lot. Alrighty, traders, we will catch you. Oh, Turkish Lira bullish. Yeah, I'll show you. I got to jump. Hey, Robin, what's cooking? No, I'm still on live. It's all right. I'm just going to show them Turkish Lira, and then I'm out of here. Roger that. Here comes the Turkish Lira, and then we are done. As we load them up. But this is really bad. We'll have to go through. We can go through this tomorrow, and we'll see how bad it did. And there's your Turkish Lira. It's in a sell at this point. Yeah. See, we went into the sell yesterday, but we're in a weekly buy still. But this platinum trade, ooh, that's painful, because look at that. And then it goes into the buy here. Okay, so it makes your money back up. That's kind of nice. So whatever you lost over here, you made there. It always works that way with our math. And then you can't take the sell there, but there's another one you can take as a buy. Right there? Yeah, right there. And again, it makes the money. Well, makes the money to here, and it does that crazy thing, but it's still in a buy. So, it's a challenging thing there, traders. That's why options are so much more fun. DE stock also looks nice. Oh, John Deere? Yeah, that makes sense. All right, guys, we will catch you tomorrow. This is Doc from North America. Ta-ta for now. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you on TGIF Day